it's not just necessarily getting dumber, it's becoming more isolated. We already know all the stuff that it has access to. So what they're doing now is trying to label the data better. Again, you get a lot of diminishing returns. Right? There's only so much you can do with.
Welcome to Fire Talks by Tech Wing Bites. I'm Clint. I've built software, led teams, and now a founder, helping builders who are ready to make the leap but can't quite see the path yet. Every episode is one conversation closer to clarity on ownership, execution, and momentum.
I don't have any planned agenda, but I did want it to. It's about tech, right? We'll talk about AI, but there's some AI trends I wanted to talk about, so we can dive into that. Like that's the only thing I have on top of my mind. What did you have?
Yeah, no, I mean, I like the whole Freeform thing.
Yeah.
So you can just get into whatever, wherever that path goes, that's what we can talk about.
Exactly.
I didn't have anything real specific that I wanted to talk about. I mean, I know I've been working with some AI recently that's, been helping me immensely as far as like the speed at which I can do things. Is, because before, some of the things I'm thinking about, like the specific thing I'm thinking about right now is I'm converting from a Flask template to a React, shipping a React app essentially. And I know React at a base level, right? So I know if I was going to be doing this myself, it would take me quite a bit of time to get up caught up to speed on my JavaScript, right? Because it's been a while. And just React in general. With this, I was able to do not a full-on conversion, because I still got some things to do, but my biggest two issues that I knew I was thinking about that I was going to have to do, and I'm done in 2 days. What I know before, it took me like at least 2 weeks. So yeah, no, it's been great for me.
That's cool, man. I'm so excited to get into it. I know for 2026, I'm gonna be hands-on doing some coding. I told you about that app I wanted to create. So React. So React is powerful from what I've researched and observed. I haven't really coded in it. I'm more of an Angular guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But Angular has transformed into its own kind of metamorphosis.
It's on a little boost. Yeah, it's on a little boost.
I think if I'm diving into it, I'm definitely diving into React and Python, right? But Node.js is still going to be in the heart. So
right.
Still get into that one too.
Yeah.
I want to tell you about. I'm just talking. This is recently, right? This happened to me twice. One with Gemini, and one with ChatGPT. Right? With ChatGPT, I have a sense, like I use it so often for like various stuff, like to bounce ideas, to research, and the response has a feeling. You like when you get to know someone, it's like, yo, they would say this,
right?
Yeah, they would say that. You know what I mean? Like you kind of get that feeling. This is AI, clearly not the same, but we do know that AI is replicating personalities. So if the personality change, you kind of feel it,
right?
So I'm chatting. I'm going back and forth. And then recently I'm like, why you sound like you're trying to be my cool buddy friend? That's different. This is the same chat I've been using for the last 2 weeks. Why is it different? And I looked up to realize that they upgraded it from OpenAI 5.0 to 5.1. And they changed it. I looked it up and they're like, yeah, we have 5 personality types. But every time they do that, it actually, I feel, makes it more dumb according to my perception. More dumb because I feel like it's filtering more information back to me. You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying, yeah.
Like more guardrails.
Yeah.
You know? Like okay, you can't say that.
To be fair, needed. But yeah, I think one of those things is I was really messing around with. It's funny. I stepped away from ChatGPT for a little bit. Actually, I think this week is probably the first time I got back to it in probably like in over a month. And I did notice there's a little bit of some personality quirks that comes along with it. And it's funny because some of the personality that is luckily, since I'm not asking more open-ended questions, I'm asking more questions that are like really strictly related to code.
Yeah.
It's giving me more code-based things, right? So it's giving me, it's giving me essentially the facts
Yeah.
for the most part. There's some things where I know it's not right, or
Yeah.
at least I know there's a better way to do it.
Yeah.
So, and that's when that little back and forth occurs. And it's like, I was like, well, you
Right.
don't really want to go down this. It'll examine something that's something I asked for. And then I go back and I review it. I'm like, one is not quite what I asked for. So let's kind of go back and you know,
Mm-hmm.
rework the prompt a little bit.
Yeah.
And from that prompt, it comes back with something new. And it's like, okay, that will work, but I'm trying to make this like production grade. So
Yeah.
I don't need you to go and, I need you to think about caching, right? I need you to think about, a lot of some of these other things, so some not full on optimizations, because obviously that's a real deep dive, but I need some basic optimizations here,
Right.
because I want this to go out into the world, and as it is, it'll work for, if it'll work for a demo, right?
Right.
If I'm showing to one person, but once I start hitting 10, 15 people, there's going to be a little bit of slowdown. So, I started working with it, making some cloud tasks. So just to kind of do some things where it's not, so basically essentially my version of a queue of as a message queue,
Yep.
essentially. And you know, it finally got what I was trying to do. So after that, it was a lot smoother, but again, it's going to give you at the base level. When you start off with it, it's going to give you at the base level, which is
Yeah.
why I started learning about skills, right? Because I
Yeah.
can just upload the idea, like not the ideas, but upload the type of skills and what I wanted to really think about when it's actually going to return. And I learned that from Claude. There's something like Claude skills, right?
Mhm.
So, and there's a repo out there. I can't remember the name of it. I'd have to go back and look it up. But it's a whole, essentially Markdown files. There's a lot of Markdown files, which
Right.
will tell you this is what the setup is. This is how I want you to actually respond to me. And
How big
this
is
is
that
my
repo?
style. Huh?
How
How
big is
big
that?
is that repo? It gives you basics. So the repo itself, let me see if I can find it real quick. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
That's interesting. Like I was thinking you would need to so for me, because I ask it so many things,
Mhm.
it's trying to put me in a personality category. Like you're a
Yeah,
coder, you're a writer,
right.
like trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
But this like I was thinking, upload the personality you want, or say I want you to be this and that. But the
Mhm.
skills seems a lot better, right? You can say, hey,
Yeah.
this
So,
is who you're gonna be, and here's the
yeah.
content of it.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here, yeah, let me just put it in. I just found it. It's called Cloud. Yeah, Claude. It's Claude. Sorry,
Uh,
Claude Code Infrastructure Showcase. So somebody spent quite a few months
yeah.
on this, and
Yeah.
what they ended up doing was creating an infrastructure that anybody can follow. Because I basically use this as a baseline, and for my code base, and I was able to. You can now you can kind of spin out like some specialized agents. You can do a lot of different skills. They focused on using hooks, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think you can. I mean, I could do it that way too, but I stayed away from hooks just because I didn't necessarily want to uh, embed myself all the way with Claude. Right? I want to be able to kind of use it for other things, and so it was, but I think if you're all in with Anthropic, then I think it's a good idea to just go with how they're doing it.
This
I'm
is
not all in with Anthropic. I kind of bounce around because I feel there are each one of them has their own flavor, and not just flavor, it also has a better answers depending on what the questions you're asking. So you kind of
Mhm.
have to learn that too. And but yeah, so far I mean, I think Anthropic is really good with the coding portion of it. I haven't really played around with what's the other one? Cursor? Yeah, I haven't played around with Cursor yet, but
Yeah, yeah,
I'll get around to it.
yeah. One of the other guys that came the last time, he
Mhm.
definitely is in that space a lot. This
Yes.
is great, man. You keep
Mhm.
them on a track instead of just rando convo. You just
Yes.
get rando back.
Yes. Yeah, you load it up, and the hooks are good if you don't want to, if you don't feel like having to load it every time,
Hmm.
which is good. But for me, I have very specific things at different times, so I don't necessarily need hooks for everything. There's very specific sections of the code that I need something specific for right now. I'll load that one up, and then next
This,
question.
I love this concept.
Hmm.
It's there got to be a ton of MD repos
Hmm.
building AI context because
Hmm.
I can read the internet, get confused of your intent, like you've been
Yes.
explaining, and give you crap back. But this is
Mhm.
smart. Like I
Yeah.
love this. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I found out about this about a month ago, maybe a month and a half. Yeah, it was the beginning of November. So about a month and a half, yeah. And yeah, I was
Nice.
just going with it, and it's been awesome, honestly.
So like you would say you have less issues with it doing what you expect.
Yes. Now, that's not to say I don't have any issues, but um when I because I morph my code depending on what I've learned over the week or two. So if you're staying very rigid with it,
Hmm.
then it's fine. But if you realize, okay, this might be a better way, if you research something, so I realize this might be a better way. Like the example I was giving before with the cloud tasks, right? So at first, I went with I was doing it in Python, so I went with some multi-threading as an initial concept, and
Hmm.
I built out the skill with that in mind.
Right.
Now, as I got a little bit deeper in it, I realized no, multi-threading is just not. It's not going to work for this system.
Right.
And now I have to go back and redo the skill because if I load that or make a new skill, really, I'll
Right.
probably just make a new skill, just throw that old one away.
Yeah.
But now that I have this new way of doing it using the Google Cloud Tasks,
Yeah.
it's it I have to kind of make sure that it understands that. Now, I will say Cloud has been really good with being able to understand my code from the standpoint that it remembers the context. It actually has a wide enough context window
Uh-huh.
that it remembers what it is I'm doing or what I've done in the past, at least for the past weekish or so.
Mm.
So I don't necessarily have to load. I actually don't have to load as much as I used to. Like
Right.
early on, I had to load a lot,
Right.
but
When you say
it's
code or not, because I know almost all of these platforms has it. I just haven't done
mhm,
it to that
yeah,
extent. Maybe I do one or two files. When you say
mhm.
load a lot, you're talking about taking these MD
The
files,
skills, yes,
right,
yeah,
and
right,
kind of say, okay, I'm about to do this new chat, and I'm gonna load up all of these things that I want you
right.
to be part of.
Right, to be right. So no, want you to be aware of them. So, for example, like I have I've been messing around with Ngrok as far as being able to host my uh, my dev environment on the web, right? So that I don't have to. So that way I can have someone else take a look at it and tell me what it is, as opposed as if they see any bugs or anything like that, right?
Eh,
So I don't necessarily have to if I'm if I'm working on my local environment, I can actually send you my Ngrok ID. I mean not ID, URL. Send that
mhm.
to you, and you can see exactly what it is I'm working on, like at this very moment.
Right.
Yeah, see it live, and you can test it out, and I'll be able to see locally what you're doing. I because I have my logs running, and
Wait.
so
What what platform is this?
this is a Ngrok. So Ngrok is basically a way to host
Oh,
yeah,
but people,
host your stuff on the web, host local environments. I use it to host local environments on the web. You can use it to host whatever you want on the web.
I was there's one similar to that I've used before.
Mhm.
This is called Replit.
Yeah, Replit. Yeah, I know Replit.
Yeah. Okay. So similar to Replit.
Yeah, similar. Replit is a more all-in-one type
Okay.
deal, whereas this is strictly so basically I run my local environment. I terminal and a separate terminal. I run my Ngrok
Mm-hmm.
hosting the port, the same, so it's running on the same port as my local environment.
Yeah.
And now I have it'll generate an ID, it'll generate a URL, HTTPS URL at that. And I can share that URL with you, and now you can see my hosted website and the stuff that I'm working on directly. So Replit, yeah. So Replit is more, from what I've seen, it it's collaborative. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so you have stuff in the, like, you can just share windows and stuff like that. So this, what I'm talking about, isn't really collaborative, but you can, like I said, you have a bit more power, more options. Because from what I've seen on Replit, I think Replit is mostly almost all JavaScript, right? I don't
Most,
think I've
I've
seen,
used it for only JavaScript. Well,
yeah,
no
right.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen other languages. Now, that's not to say they don't have it. That's
Right.
just haven't seen it.
Mm.
But since my back end is right now Flask, which again I might update to something else, but right now my back end is Flask, right? So I didn't want to have to try and figure out how to do Flask in Replit when I could just host, just use Ngrok, spin up a Ngrok tunnel essentially, and have it be shared on the web. So it
So,
was basically real simple.
question about that.
Yeah.
You have to share the link, right?
Right. Yeah. You have to share the link
Is it
to.
anyone has the link, or is it attached to this email?
Okay. Yeah. So okay, this is how I've done it.
Right.
I have a Ngrok account. It's a
Uh,
free account. So on the free account, you only get one URL, essentially, one, or at least one session,
okay.
right, that you can run at a time.
Right.
I came up with a name that most people would not know or use. It's kind of like a combination of words,
Yeah.
right? So, but it's so because if I don't do that, Ngrok will create a URL for me, right?
Okay.
And I have to, and then at that point, I will have to always copy that, put it in my environment, and then run it over and over again, right? So every time I spin up a new session in Ngrok, I have to copy that new URL, and now I have to copy that over to my environment file, rerun it, restart the dev server, and all that stuff.
Right.
By giving it a very specific name,
Mm-hmm.
like, and it's long, so I don't. Yeah.
Well,
It,
nobody
and-
can guess your URL, but
right. No.
does Ngrok allow their users to search for available repositories? I assume not, because
Well,
that's
yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen it do that. Now, again, that you're getting into way more hackerish type deals right
well,
there, right?
that's what people do, right?
Right. No, yeah, that's which again is
Mm-hmm.
perfectly, viable. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, I'm sure if you're inclined enough to do so,
Right.
the possibility is there.
Gotcha.
But I think from what I've seen, it's relatively secure. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that they allow you to do searches like that. Now, you could this entirely possible. You can kind of like spam certain words and certain IDs, your URLs, and maybe you hit one.
Right.
Now, in fact, let me take a look real quick. I think because my terminal, let's see, it gives me a version, gives me which account I'm using, but it's a free plan. So if it's basically forwarding things from the URL that it spawns. to my local. So I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it'll actually be that easy to do
okay.
to run searches for this.
This has nothing to do with Twitter Grok, right? I'm just
No,
curious.
no, 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 no. It has
All
nothing. Has absolutely nothing to do with it.
right.
This came way before,
Okay.
way before Twitter Grok. Yeah,
All right.
yeah. I think this spawn like Grok. I mean, obviously, the whole Grok thing spawns from what's that book? Strange something. A Strange Land. Oh,
Uh, is it?
it's a Robert Heinlein book. It's a sci-fi book.
Oh,
It's I know it because my
that's
brother.
good.
I'm speaking of sci-fi, so my brother gave me that book probably like 20 years ago. I mean, the book is probably like 40, 50 years old at this point. Matter of fact, I think I had. Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, Stranger in a Strange Land. So
Stranger,
yeah,
strange.
yeah, that's the book.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, so the whole term grok kind of came from this book.
oh.
So anytime you hear it, just know that that's the origin.
I might have to go take a deep dive into this book.
Uh-huh.
It's interesting. It's sci-fi,
It's sci-fi, yeah.
but it
So
sounds like it's throwing some knowledge out there.
yeah, so grok essentially is a deep level of understanding.
Mm.
That's to put it into real terms. To put it into real terms, it's a like a deep not just philosophical, almost like a spiritual level of understanding of
Right,
a thing.
right.
Yeah,
I'm definitely gonna add that to my list. That's
yeah,
stuff. Okay.
yeah.
Well, you're really using the hell out of this thing. I am so behind.
Hey,
Look,
man,
I'm
look.
still stuck arguing, right? And it's
Uh,
giving me dumb responses, right?
uh,
I want to switch. I do use Claude. I want to
yeah.
do Claude Code and Cursor, so I'm on the same
Mhm,
path.
yeah.
I do use Gemini for general things, but
Uh-huh.
they just released like a really good model. So I was like, well, let me give it some thinking tasks.
Yeah.
You would believe what happened?
Oh, cool.
Start talking to me in Japanese. And when I asked it to translate it, it said,
Uh-huh.
I don't know what you're talking about. You start talking Japanese. I said, no, we
Wow.
I had to copy the Japanese,
Yeah.
put it in open AI chat GPT,
Uh-huh.
and translation was explaining to me how to pronounce A in
Yeah.
Japanese. And I'm like, what? I guess
Mhm.
when because I was doing a verbal conversation.
Right.
So, if you pause too long, then it tries to respond. So I'm trying to like
Yeah.
hurry my
Right.
speech, and I use the filler words. And
Yeah. I got
confuse.
you.
That's
Right.
what I'm assuming happened.
Yeah,
Right.
probably, because I think that is one of the things that I've noticed with like these speech, these when you're speaking to something, like,
Mhm.
unless it's always just listening until you give it a trigger end word or trigger end phrase or whatever, or
Yes. Yes.
action, it's going to assume a long enough pause is
Means
your end
that.
of a sentence. Is like you
Yeah.
you finish your thought, and it's like for people like that, like you and me, like I
Uh,
pause all the dang like I pause a lot.
yeah. Yeah.
So
I got to think this through. I got to
right,
make
I
sure.
got to think. Yeah,
Right.
I think about it, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, sometimes that's in the middle of a thought or middle of a sentence,
Exactly.
or I get to the end of my what is it the guy that what they call it pregnant pause, like where it's like that pause to end something, it's kind of like birthing something else. Is really just it's not the end. It's just kind of like the beginning of your next thought.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay. Um, have you set up like MCP server and all that?
not yet, not yet. I mean, it's on my to-do list,
Yeah. That's what
but
but I need a powerful PC for that.
right.
Not, yeah.
Right. Yeah, like I'm not gonna run it on this. I'm not gonna run it on my Mac. Right. I
No,
need it.
well, we talked about it. We got the same old
Yeah.
version of Magnus
Right.
ready
Yeah.
to
Like
pop.
yeah. Like it's mine's like 5 years old now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of the.
That's why I'm logged in twice because so
Uh,
the screen is my Mac and this is my
mhm.
iPad.
Yeah.
If Google on there,
Mhm.
the whole thing started.
Right. Yeah. Once you have too much processing, once too many things is going on,
Yeah,
it gets real slow. I have this my fan monitor, which that's how. So basically, it tells me when things are under a big load because I can watch and see when it's trying to cool off. So
yeah,
and that's because it's my way of knowing it without having to go into utilities
yeah,
and seeing what the CPU load is. It's just a quick way of me knowing. I mean, I can hear it too, but
yeah, yeah.
then that'll give me an understanding idea as to what's that's about. But
It makes you wonder, like, what does it really take to run a good AI? I saw on TikTok the other day,
Mhm,
this guy, he was showing how he's running his not connected to the internet. He
mhm,
downloaded some of my models and he was
mhm,
training on his own.
mhm.
And but he had like several PCs, like three of them like connected to each other, kind of
Uh,
daisy. Um, you
yeah,
know, hey, it's possible you can do it. I was like, dream,
yeah. I was saying, yeah, three PCs. I was like, okay.
right?
Yeah.
Um, but like I got a question for you. So I'm coming at it from like I'm still using it for social media stuff, for
Mhm.
improving workflows. For I'm using it for conversation and
Right.
thinking buddy. I'm using it for trends and problem solving and
Mhm.
troubleshooting. You're getting into the coding part of it, right?
Right.
Really trying to see how it responds. Here's where I am, and I want to ask you. I'm
Mhm.
gonna give you my answer, but I'm gonna ask you the question. Like, what do you think
Sure.
the state of AI is now? And from my point of view now, before I even get into coding,
Mhm.
it's I feel like it's getting dumber, or technically, I feel like they're filtering it out more,
Mhm.
and they're giving the consumers, even paying consumers, less
Mhm.
because I want to feel like I'm not getting the answers. Like
Mhm.
in the beginning, I have that
Yeah.
there was a smaller context, there was more hallucination, made
Mhm.
sense. Now they've thrown way more infrastructure and
Mhm.
memory at it. So it's
Mhm.
like you expect it to do better. And I feel like we went through this wave where it was doing great. And
Mhm.
then you see the spike of all the generative AI images and videos, and it's like, oh, it's getting
Yeah.
better. AI's gonna take over. And then now I feel like it's slowing down, almost like,
Yeah.
hey, we don't know what else to do. We've given the MPC server, the RAG,
Mhm. Mhm.
the all the algorithms to kind of
Yeah.
contain it. And I feel like AI really hasn't grown. I feel like it's the same AI. They just add more
Mhm.
memory, more more context.
Yeah.
Hallucination is not solved, right?
Right. No.
And it's like, hey, we're better. But I'm like, we're not really better. You're just trying to put more and more algorithms. To me, RAG is an algorithm. The whole MPC server is a patch, is a band-aid. And any
Mhm.
other patterns you hear now is just more algorithms to say, hey,
Mhm.
oh, it's better. Look what it can do. Let me go into a popular program, say Adobe Illustrator, apply
Mhm.
AI, and it's like, whoa, look what AI can do. Well, hold up, AI was already doing that.
Doing the stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I feel
Yeah.
like they're taking more away. And even though you started hearing about these agents, I feel like
Mhm.
more and more companies, those that can afford it anyway, is gonna
Mhm.
do like that guy on TikTok and create their own,
Mhm.
AI agent, but
Right.
disconnect from the internet,
Yeah.
fill it with their intellectual property context and data,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
and they'll start to try to sell that.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to feel like the big companies is pulling away, almost
Mhm.
like they're already doing that, and say, okay,
Mhm.
you normal guy, I'm gonna give you the watered down version.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay. So yeah, this is my take on that whole system, right? So there's a lot of things I think going on behind the scenes with
Yeah,
AI, just in general.
yeah,
There's the power concern and consumption,
yeah.
right? There's the fact that almost every AI company uses the same type of chip,
Yeah,
and
we're stepping up, but
yeah,
yes.
yeah, they're stepping up, but it's almost all NVIDIA, right? It's almost all
Mhm.
NVIDIA.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
It's not.
And yeah, right. So yeah, and NVIDIA is well paid from that, right?
Mhm.
And honestly, I think it probably started with Bitcoin mining, because that's really when NVIDIA started getting ridiculous amounts of cash flow, like
Yeah,
ridiculous amounts of cash flow, because
get my
all
gaming
that
PC.
stuff, yeah, yeah, all that mining occurred based on that, right?
Yeah.
All their money came based on the mining.
Mhm.
So with with NVIDIA backing pretty much well, not every, but all the major ones, right? All the major AI companies, you know, and using the same chips, right? And it starts to become this little, it's island, right? They have their own. It's almost its own island, and what I end up, every time I look at it, it seems as if it's not just necessarily getting dumber; it's becoming more isolated,
Agreed.
right?
That's
And they're all so, and there's that law of diminishing returns, right?
mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's only so much. We already know all the stuff that it has access to. Right? Like they've already strip mined all the books and informations and all the stuff that they get it from its data. They're learning now, or at least what they're doing now is trying to get better ways to, I can't remember the term, but they're labeling. Sorry, yeah. So they're trying to label the data better. But again, you get a lot of diminishing returns. Like there's only
Yeah.
so much you can do with. I mean, what's a headphone, right? And, how many different ways can you explain and get to the headphone, right? And how many different sentences can you get to the word headphone and out of the word headphone, right? That's basically what LLMs are essentially, right? So it's a ways to get to a word and out of, and what makes most sense coming out of that word, right? It's a very, very intelligent Mad Libs generator, right? It sees words and it's like, okay, this is the most likely word that comes after that, and this is the
Well,
most
yeah,
likely, right?
the
So
whole network concept, but it also makes you feel like, to use your term, the law of the diminishing returns. I think we're at that limit. There's nothing else you
yeah,
can really do now.
right. So yeah, now we're getting to the point where we have to start, or it has. Well, no, we have to start giving it ways to make those more intuitive leaps that a person or human can actually do, right?
Yeah,
Yes, because it's great at pattern recognition. I mean, it's awesome at it. Right? It's better than people at that,
yeah.
because it has the roadmap. Sorry, that's the thing. It has the roadmap. So yes,
Strategy. Yeah.
right. So now, we're talking about how do we make it smart enough. I don't know. Smart's not the right word.
Smart and
Yeah.
thinking.
Right. Yeah. That's, yeah. Because it's not the right. That's not the right word.
It's
Because
just for us to understand it, but I
yeah.
still don't like the words. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, same. So that's why I didn't really want to use it. But
Mhm.
for the sake of the conversation, I'll use it because it's
Makes
how
sense.
most people will think about it. So we have to figure out a way to make sure that it's able to make those leaps and be able to give us real information for what we're asking.
Mhm.
Because the context of something is the key for how we communicate, right? If we have the same context, if you and I, we're talking in a conversation, we
Mhm.
have the same context, almost everything we say will be understood, even if necessarily the words don't necessarily match up.
Mhm.
But if we're talking about, like for example, if we're talking about, you're from Trinidad, right? So
Mhm.
we're talking about, I'm from Barbados. Well, my family's from Barbados. So
Right.
we're talking about, Caribbean, like crop over for me, Carnival for you, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's the same thing, but we understand the context there, even though we're using different words.
That's why we chuckle like that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. So, so that's what we have to get LLMs, or not LLM, I guess AI in general, to
Yeah.
that point. And that's why it seems dumber, right? I think like that. That's why I think you feel it seems dumber, because it has so many different contexts
Yeah.
that it's probably using the wrong context to answer your question.
Certainly. Certainly.
Right?
So if you ask ChatGPT, probably even Gemini, to create a profile of me, the user,
Yeah.
it's gonna that's not me. I'm pretty
Yes.
sure.
Oh yeah, yeah, no, exactly, exactly. Yeah, I'd be afraid to see what it's going to say about me.
Yeah.
What's going to
There
come
was
up?
a lady at the expo we went to, and she said she asked it,
Yeah,
and AI thought she was a 40-year-old fat white man. Like this,
yeah,
this describe it
right,
to me. Like,
exactly, and that's exactly what we're talking about. AI, like the context that it's speaking from is not ours.
it's true.
Just from a baseline.
Yeah.
So the coding that we'd have to do for it is to make it a little more like context aware, which is why I really like that whole skills thing because
Yeah.
it helps me load context, right? So
Yeah.
now it can
It's
now
like a
now
lot of context, right?
right,
Good.
right.
Not the back and forth for hours before it's like, okay, now I can have a conversation with you.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. That's,
So now we're giving it a little bit so that whole skill it gives it a little bit more of a brain, like,
mhm.
and so it knows how to actually communicate with someone like me
Yeah.
or someone like I mean I haven't had my kids do anything like this, but I mean my kids are of the age where obviously this is going to be huge. It's going to affect them hugely, right?
So that got me thinking.
Hmm.
To take it to another level, right? Like when we first started, it was all about the prompt, right?
Right.
And people still promote the prompt. I do too. In
Mhm.
fact, especially people getting started. And then it went to another level, big detail prompt. And then it went to another level, like JSON prompt, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And so do you think this skills pattern,
Mhm.
loading MD files is like the new prompt?
Mostly yes, because what the prompt does is usually a prompt is essentially a question.
Right.
I mean, sometimes a statement, but usually it's a question. Or you're trying to get an answer to something, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I say it's usually a question. Now, when you're trying to get an answer to something,
Hmm.
especially from a computer, there are specifics that it doesn't know. It has no idea. So you have to give it clues, which is what the whole prompting system is.
Right.
Clues as to what it is. So what the skills are essentially is giving it these are my rails. This is stay within this frame,
Guardrails. Yeah.
stay within this framework, and now answer the question from this area.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have these
Loading.
rails, you have these boundaries.
Do you think then, because I feel like people is gonna fall in this category next, is like, okay, so if this is the new way to communicate with AI, especially generative AI specifically,
Mhm.
and that's also a form of training the model. So I give you an example, not stuff you can find on the internet, like these MMD files, but you come up with a very unique concept, whatever that concept is. It's part of your book, and
Right.
you want to answer questions from this book. So you got to load your book, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And now you can ask your questions, but now you're also training the model, right?
In a way, yeah. In a way, yes. The thing is, like, if you the thing with models is there's like weights and all that other stuff that kind of goes with it.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, in a way, you're training the model, but I think the model's already there. Usually, I think what you're
Right.
doing with the model is you're letting the model go out and find things, but you've giving it a certain area of the neighborhood to look in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's only have to go to the store, right?
Right.
And you're saying, okay, this is the neighborhood. I want you to go look for the store in, so you
Well,
can go pick up things from that store.
Well, I wondered. So maybe I was interpreting it differently, right?
Uh-huh.
I am that concept. So you have the data and you training
Mhm.
the model, and I should have been more specific about
Mhm.
what I meant by training. You can train the data on. You can train the model on data on this
Mhm.
specific data. Give me answers from this data because you're loading the data. I didn't
Right.
mean that context. More from the uh, here's the here's this data. Now I'm going to
Yeah.
ask a series of questions, and
Mhm.
then based on our interaction, you're now trained for this
Okay.
type count conversation, not necessarily the data, but now you know
Okay.
how to respond with
Yeah.
with this pattern, like almost strategies
Right.
and tactics. So
Right.
I'm training it for like strategies and tactics, less the data.
Yeah. Yes. So yes, I see where you're going now. So yes, in a way you are training it. The only thing is you always have to do the same training on every new instance. Right.
I feel like you would now know how to talk to me. So
Right. Yeah.
with the respect on
So
it.
yeah, again, it depends on the context window, like how long it can. And the good thing about some of these are that they actually keep some of the chats that you've had in the past longer than they used to.
Yes,
Before, before it was like what, a week, if that. No, it could. So now it seems like
well,
chat
they have
history.
virtual machines now, right? So they
Yeah,
spin up virtual machines, spinning up more memories.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like pods and
Right.
Kubernetes. Right. Okay.
Right. Yep. Right. So, they're keeping more of the old context. So that's why it seems like because I haven't had to load one of my newer ones. I haven't had to load much.
Mhm.
It's been remembering like how it does, but it's also able to search. Someone say, I will tell it, look at this file before you even start doing anything.
Hey,
Look at
look.
this file. This is how I want this done. Right? Or this is where I want you to look for, this pattern, like,
Yeah.
and duplicate this and replicate this pattern.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So all of this
Mhm.
starts to make me feel like it's really pushing the trends I look at. So the reason why I logged in to twos because I wanted to share this because you see this and you be like, yeah, that makes sense. Because like
Mhm.
now I saw some stuff like, but then after talking to you, like, okay, that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Let me share my screen here and
Okay.
same topic, but you'll see what I mean. I am a big Google Trends person. There's
Hmm.
other trend platforms.
Hmm.
I saved them, but this is my number one because it's quick, it's easy,
Uh-huh.
clean interface, right?
Okay.
If you want to go deeper into like trends, there's so many different apps, but this is their AI um, trend search.
Okay.
What is people looking for? Is AI transforming our lives? But how do we search for it in every day, right? Like that's what's
Mhm.
going on. AI
Okay.
for service, boom, boom, boom. I think in the beginning, that's what you see. This interests me a lot. Like
How can
if
AI
I
help?
put the mouse right here, you can see this is
Mm.
December. This is a year ago, December 2024. And
Yeah.
then it spiked. So literally, this is
Yeah.
the entire year.
Yeah. I wonder what that spike. What's that first spike? What date is that?
That is February. Wait. February 16th, 2015. I'm
15?
sorry. I'm sorry. I said 15. I meant 25 this year.
Okay.
What was
Oh, is that when? That feels like that's when
Deep Seek?
one of something. Yeah. Was that Deep Sea? Was that the Deep Sea?
I'm thinking is right around when
Something.
Deep Seek
Yeah. That's yeah.
showed his face. And then everybody's like, I gotta up my game.
Yeah.
Yeah. But look at that. That's just this year
Yeah.
alone, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And the trend is how can AI help? Right?
Right.
General, because people don't know what to specifically ask for.
Right.
So, right?
Yeah.
And so this is the US,
Hmm.
right? Where people are searching for how can
Hmm.
help AI.
Right. Okay. So
Yeah, those two
so
come out.
the biggest states are looks like Cali, New York.
New York,
Um,
Cali,
looks like
was it
Washington. Yeah.
yeah.
What's it?
Texas is
Yeah, Texas. Yeah, Texas seems like it's up there, but it's not top three. It
right, right.
might be top five. I don't know. Georgia might seems like pretty similar.
Yeah, and that's all over, right?
Yeah,
I'm just looking at the color density. Yeah,
yeah,
New York. What's this? Georgia,
yeah. Georgia looks like a little bit higher.
Rock,
Colorado,
Utah.
Utah. Those are pretty close together. Yeah, Cali's 90. New York. Yeah, New York just seems like it's like
Killing it.
far and ahead of everybody else with that
Then
one.
we have here
What is versus how to.
what is how to. So this first spike is March 9th, 2020, March 16th,
Mhm.
2023. And
Okay, how to use AI.
forward to 24, like all of the traffic seems to be in 2025.
Well, yeah, that's when AI really made its real big push. I
But this
mean,
is interesting because I told you
yeah,
how I was feeling like, man, this is getting weak. But look
right,
how it dropped. Like I
yeah,
was thinking before I saw this, and I'm like,
mhm,
whoa.
yeah,
Right? Which AI is best for X?
AI for health.
This is interesting. So I did this earlier.
Huh.
I'm gonna go back here. Let me see
Yeah,
if I
for
can zoom this
students.
in. So you can
So
see.
2023.
So
Okay,
we started December 2023.
yeah, 2 years
Student,
ago.
health, teacher, travel, developers.
That developers is nothing.
Right? And
Yeah,
like, well, I could just play it, right? Can I just play it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
They're doing this thing.
Health jobs, yeah, students. Yeah, I mean, students make sense.
Yeah.
Health is interesting. Teachers and
Health is the most interesting to me.
yeah, health is interesting. I'm trying to. It makes me
Students,
curious, but also worried.
like, what have the doctors been doing for all these years, right?
Yeah.
Teachers make sense.
Right.
Students still make total sense to me. This is still in September
2024 was last year.
2024.
Yeah.
Last year, we're doing good.
So
Now look at the
yeah,
developers.
developers start kicked up a little bit. 2024. So now about a year ago, and now it's spiking a little bit. Health, but health is always really high.
Yeah, always high. Looks like it's dominating. I've
Yeah,
seen a ton of AI startups in the health.
in health space. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm. And I think I'm wondering if part of that is the vast inefficiencies that occur in healthcare.
Yeah.
You know, so
Okay.
that's what it feels like. That's part. Some of that's part of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
September health is dominating.
yeah, health is all. Oh, it's almost 50%.
This is crazy that teachers is more interested in AI than
Mhm.
developers. Developers is
Yeah.
getting there. Like, man, I can do this. I don't need you, AI.
Right. Right. But it's that's gonna. I'm telling you that the developers. I don't think developers will be number one in that particular five, but I think at some point it probably can hit probably at least number three.
Yeah, I would agree. I can see it over the next year with everything
Mhm.
Claude is doing and
Yeah.
Cursor, and
Yep.
of course, five OpenAI ChatGPT 5. They
Mhm.
leaned in heavily on helping developers, right? And
Mhm.
all of the integrations with
So like
with
VS Code with all the IDEs and
yes, exactly.
yeah.
You know what I was going to say. Yes, all
Yep.
of that.
Yep.
But you can see here there's other trends coming:
Trip planning. Yeah.
planning, real
I would
estate,
I could
everything.
see that. I could see trip planning because it's sometimes you don't necessarily know where you want to go, and it's like, okay, so what's a good trip? I want to take a road trip to, what's it, Big Bend in Texas,
Yeah.
right? What's give me some good spots to stop at.
And real estate too, right? Everybody wants to
Mhm.
sell their house for the
Best Buy. Yep.
best plan. Sorry, but I got a little distracted.
Uh,
So someone was at the door. Yeah. So
yeah.
yeah, a lot of people want to sell their house for the highest value, but
Right.
but of course the purchaser also wants the best value too.
Right.
So,
Yeah. I know. Yeah. Somebody wants
uh,
to. You want to sell it for the highest price, and you want to buy it for the lowest.
but I don't know if you'll notice it actually showed you where. So this is in Florida versus
Florida.
trip planning to New Mexico. They got all the mountains over there, and then
Hmm.
Montana for cooking. Very interesting.
Yeah, Montana for cooking. Huh. So they're saying people don't know how to cook in Montana? Like, what's
That's
that?
what it's saying. That's the trend. That's the trend.
Mhm.
And then here's some other things. I can totally see AI for coding. We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
Writing, I use it to help me with my grammar
Mhm.
and punctuations and stuff. Math, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
People using it for math. Like, what are you using math for? Don't get me
Mhm.
wrong. I use math and coding. Makes sense, right?
Right.
What
Right.
are you using it for math for? Yes, statistics, analytics, yeah, but just math? That seems weird.
Yeah. I mean, are they generalizing? Like what I mean is by that, what I mean by that is, are they taking stuff like, oh, okay, I'm doing calculus or I'm doing differential equations or
Well,
all the
you know
different
what,
types of math
you're right
and
because
roll that up into math.
teachers, students, we
Yeah,
saw
because
that earlier.
teaching students are like the number one. So it feels like I'm surprised science isn't up there.
Yeah,
I just say that just
right.
yeah,
Or
just
physics.
because
And,
yeah, physics, yeah, exactly.
health and AI, we talked about that. Definitely big.
Hmm.
Developers, AI, and coding search.
Of course, the heaviest one is Washington, Washington, California.
Well, yeah, that's what Microsoft is, right?
Right, yeah, Microsoft,
Other stuff, Boeing,
mhm,
all
Boeing,
there.
yeah,
This is interesting. Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. Oh, and MIT. Oh, which actually brings me to another. Did you read that or hear about that story about the two those two kids that were in was that MIT? No, Harvard. They were at Harvard. Sorry,
Mhm.
and they took the Meta Ray Bans
Mhm.
and a facial recognition software and just publicly accessible databases, and they
Yeah.
were able to run, use the glasses to find that person and their personal information. Basically, they built a doxing, essentially, it's a doxing goggles. And but what they ended up doing was, instead of publishing how to do it, they published how to get yourself off of those
Well,
sites.
so question,
Yeah,
like they can find what you're doing now,
not what you're doing now. Well, they can. Okay, so
where you've been.
if you're walking, so no, if you know now, like, so they took it out to like a subway in Boston, and as they were, they saw the picture, they were recording,
Hmm.
get someone's image, and then the database will go back. It will go search those different databases, and then you could come back with a person's address,
Wow,
sometimes occupation, depending. But yeah, it's
that's scary.
wild. Yeah, it's
Scary.
wild.
You think that
So,
there's so many public accessible information plus information you put out there yourself, from social,
yes,
and
yes.
it's all there. But for someone to sit by themselves without AI and crunch that information just to find it is
Mhm.
an unbelievable amount of work. So
Yeah,
to take AI to do those
yeah.
things, it's surprising, but not so surprising.
It's
You
not.
know?
It's not. When I saw, because I think I saw it yesterday, maybe 2 days ago, and when I saw it, it was like, yeah, it's probably not as not that hard. I mean, I know it's Harvard students and all that, but when I just sat down and thought about what it takes to do that,
Mm-hmm.
it ain't that hard.
Right.
So, because there's enough information out there for you to get recognition, to do facial recognition, right? There's enough programs out there, because that's a very common problem that most AIs were built on, right? Facial recognition. Right?
Right.
That's a lot of like machine
That
learning. Like a
is,
lot of that is from a lot of the core is from that.
yeah,
So there are a ton of algorithms and a ton of different methodologies and packages you can just download, and
yeah,
it'll do a lot of that for you. So once started thinking about that, I was like, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it became like, yeah, no, that's
Also,
it. Yeah. I mean, you have enough money to buy some of those things, but the technical portion of it, fortunately, it's pretty easy.
true, true. So here it is here, AI for small businesses. That's what we both pushing, right? Makes sense. For investing, I was thinking about this. How many people,
Yeah.
those what you call them, day traders,
Yeah, day traders. Yeah.
they're using AI? And
Yeah.
again, I want to point the eye to the state that it's popular. So small businesses, Idaho,
Idaho.
investing is Delaware,
Huh.
job search, or
Oregon. Yo, that's wild. Yeah.
and of course this is huge, right? We know it has gotten a lot better, but that's just more memory,
Hmm.
more rag probably,
Hmm.
double checking, make sure it's
Yep.
right.
Yep.
And it looks great.
Yeah.
uh People talk about the movie industry and artists. I
Hmm.
think there was a phase where you can tell
Yes.
extremely scary in 2026. Listening to somebody's voice and illustration. I wonder, is that really them? Like,
right. It's gonna be
the whole-
really hard. Yeah.
man, it's terrifying. It's
It's one
terrifying.
of those things where I feel like, man, I'll say the law has not caught up with this, right? So
No way. No way.
there's honestly, there needs to be a way for people to, at the very least, copyright their own.
I would agree.
Just automatically, like when
Right.
you're born, if you're born, your
Yeah.
voice, your likeness is copyrighted.
Well, Denmark has done that.
They've done that. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's it feels like it's the most basic thing to do.
Exactly.
Right?
Look
But,
at this graph here for image search generation.
Mhm.
Again,
Yeah.
starting with the spike, March.
March.
2005,
Uh-huh.
and it's just gotten crazy.
Yeah.
And here's the places.
hmm
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts is number one. I think that's because maybe it's probably because one of the labs is in Massachusetts, like one of the main. Probably that's my guess. Because to be that high, 100, like what?
Is it saying 100?
It was 100. Yeah, it was at 100. So it was like the most, like by far the most interested, search interest for image generation is in
Crazy.
Massachusetts.
Oklahoma surprised me too. Look at
Oklahoma
it.
is very that's surprising. I mean, Washington's 83.
Washington, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Georgia, California, a little bit behind. Texas,
Yeah.
47.
Yeah. It's funny. Those was that North Dakota, South Dakota, and they just like to see almost zero.
yeah. Not insufficient data.
Yeah, that's
they don't care. They're living in the mountains. They're like, look,
right. Yeah. What they hear about image generation?
but look at this one now. What state is
Vermont or New Hampshire? I always forget which one that is. Go next to it. Go next to it. Up. Okay, so Vermont. So yeah, so that's New Hampshire. That's Vermont. Yeah, I always forget which one. So Vermont's the one that's this directly borders New York. Okay.
Yeah.
New Hampshire doesn't. All right. I always forget. But yeah,
crazy, right?
South Dakota looks like Idaho. No.
This one? No.
North. I'm trying to think of what. So that's Utah, Colorado. So wait, I know what that one is. I forget. Why am I forgetting?
You're gonna win this battle because I don't know.
Because
this is probably Kansas, Nebraska. Let's see. Yeah, this is probably Kansas. One of these is Kansas. I'm thinking it's this one. I don't know that much. Look.
Kansas is south. No, those two. That's North and South Dakota. Because Kansas is next to Missouri.
Hold on, I'm gonna go back up here to the map that has them all.
The map that has that's the 50.
Too fast. See, look, my computer. Look, no hand. Look.
Oh yeah, it just kept scrolling.
Went crazy. Okay, here we go. Stop.
Yeah, that one.
So
North and South Dakota. Yeah, North and South Dakota. Yeah.
Right.
Nebraska. Yeah. Wyoming. Yeah, that's it. Wyoming.
Montana.
Yeah.
And North Dakota.
North and South Dakota. Yeah, North South Dakota. I knew those two. It was the Wyoming and the I already forgot. Montana. Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy map here, man.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can share this with you, but it's just Google Trends. You hit home and it's right on the home page. I usually go in there and I like to hit on trending now. See what's going on like holistically before I drill the AI stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes the AI is on the main page. My man, this was a really good conversation. It's about
I love it.
this is the format. I just showed it.